If your plants were growing completely fine all summer, and then suddenly they started to look something like that or like this, you're probably thinking to yourself, the only thing that could cause mid-season odd growth would be obviously a disease or a pest or some sort of environmental factor. But the truth is that is so far from the truth, it's not even funny. It actually is caused by something called herbicide drift. The good news is that this is very dead, and this squash is a very severe version of that. So what the heck is herbicide drift? Well, herbicide drift does not mean that you sprayed herbicide in your yard. It actually is caused by the drift of herbicide. There's two different ways in which this can happen. Number one way in which it happens is that when the herbicide is sprayed, it is in tiny little droplets. These droplets can move on a mist via obviously air movement and then land on your plants. It's not much, but it is a little bit. The second way is through vapor. So there are a number of different herbicides out there that when sprayed onto the plant on a hot day will actually turn to a vapor, gas off, and then be moved throughout your garden. It's not enough to kill the plant. It's just enough to confuse them and cause crazy looking growth such as this. Now, when you look around your garden, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, not all my plants are damaged. Actually, some of them are completely fine. A really good example of this is these sunflowers, perfectly fine when compared to these poor little nasturtium that look like absolute tits up garbage. Now, the reason for why is because depending on how the wind moved into the yard, for example, I know it was from spraying in the back alley, that air would have moved like this, and it probably would have missed these guys for the most part if it was on a mist. If it was on a vapor, then it can actually affect some of these lower plants first if it's a heavy vapor, and therefore maybe the nasturtium got the brunt of that issue. The other thing here is that it affects a lot of times new growth, not old growth. So old growth tends to be fine in these circumstances and look completely fine. And of course, different plants have different sensitivities. We'll discuss why that is, but a lot of it has to come down to the mechanisms within the plant and just the physiology of the plant, how the plant is built. So plants that are really sensitive can include things like tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, beans, peas, grapes. Sunflowers generally are sensitive as well. But again, I think what happened was a vapor cloud and maybe a little bit of mist movement. And because it was a vapor cloud, this didn't get hit because it's so tall. The sunflowers are so tall. And because it was a mist, anything in the direct kind of line of where the air would have moved is what got hit, which is why the top of that trellis got kind of clipped. These potatoes back here are completely fine. The reason they're fine is because they are not in the line of that kind of back alley area. So these guys, if they were in the line of it would have been damaged greatly. Nasturtium are very sensitive. These nasturtium over here are even kind of affected. But I will say, if you've got any sort of herbicide issue, whether it's in your compost or soil, in the air, your tomatoes, hands down, are one of the number one ones that you're going to see the problems pop up in because they're going to respond very quickly. Those nasturtiums are incredibly spicy. Wow. So because I can't get kind of on a ladder up there, well, I guess I could, but I'm not going to get up on a ladder and show you. I am going to show you kind of what happened with this castor bean because the castor bean also got clipped and it is giving very classic signs of herbicide damage. So I'm going to pop off this leaf right here to show you guys. If I can get it off, there you go. And some of the very first indicators of herbicide damage is this was growing kind of upside down. So really odd growth that seems like it's mismatched with the way that the sun is and with the way that the mature leaves have grown. Number two is actually these really spindly kind of leaf petioles that are coming off of the plant. If they're kind of skinny, they start thick, they go thin, they kind of twist and turn. That's another great indicator as well. Another obvious indicator is dead plants. So that is not as common and very obvious as to what it is. So that is something that we're seeing with the black-eyed Susan that I have. So you can see dead growth here, and that is from that herbicide, yellowing of the flowers, that sort of thing. So that's just classic death symptom on that new growth. That's actually not the most common. Now, plants that can be in direct line of fire, for example, my onions were in direct line of fire, that are completely fine because these plants are not sensitive at all this sort of thing are things like the grasses, the corns, the onions, garlics, any of your cereals tend to be okay and show zero signs of issue. So the reason for why herbicide doesn't burn the leaves, doesn't do what we would think it would do every single time, like on that black eyed season, is because that isn't actually the purpose of the herbicide. It is troublesome for the hormones within the plant. In specific, for most herbicides, is the interfering factor is auxin. What it does is it tricks the plant into thinking it's receiving massive growth signals. So what happens is our plant cells will elongate when they shouldn't be elongating, which causes that really weird long leaf petiole combined with really odd shaped, almost limp looking leaves or distorted looking leaves. And it also causes them not only to divide way too quickly, but to divide unevenly. So you will end up with a whole bunch of cells on one side of the stem and not a lot of cells on the other, which causes that twisting and that turning, regardless, again, of where that light is coming from, where wind is coming from, almost. It just ignores all of those environmental factors and just mismatches cells throughout the entire plant, causing that twisting and that turning effect. And this is why old leaves, when it comes to herbicide drift, look completely fine. Now, glyphosate, on the other hand, is a type of herbicide that doesn't cause kind of this hormonal reaction. It just causes dead growth, so the new growth just comes out brown, and then the whole plant tends to be stunted, and then dies back. So that's kind of what happens with glyphosate, generally speaking. But depending on what was happening in your area, you can end up with either or. In my case, I definitely think I didn't end up with a class 2, like a glyphosate. I ended up with something else, which allowed for vapour and it to move in on a mist. So the question becomes, does your plant recover? And the answer to this is yes. The plant will, over time, break down the herbicide. The environment in and of itself will break down the herbicide. This is actually one of the only ways in which herbicides can get passed for use, is they have to be able to break down in the environment. And as it becomes more diluted, the new growth comes back just fine. So you're going to have like a stunted look, and eventually it will come back. Is it going to affect your harvest or your results? Probably, depending on when the herbicide was applied. If it was applied long after the plant was fully established, you got lots of leaves, it's probably less likely to cause issues. If it was caused right at the beginning, it's more likely to have some very obvious effects. But regardless, if it seems like it's just the new growth, wait a week or two. The third, fourth week, about a month out from when that initial issue arose, you should begin to see some growth that seems a little bit healthier. Shockingly enough, your plants will still produce. So for example, my tomato plants, you can see some curling on them. What I've experienced is some of the first leaves, flowers have dropped. Other than that, they seem to recover just fine. So the plant tends to bounce back. Plants are incredibly resilient. We don't give them as much credit as they deserve when it comes to that. So it sucks. It looks funny and it's not pretty looking, but the reality is that it's just fine and your plants are very likely going to be okay. But it does this little bit kick at the pants in regards to what it looks like, because it makes you look like a bad gardener even though you had nothing to do with it. To recover from this, all you want to do is, and all I've been doing, is you just want to make sure that you are watering regularly and you're not watering too much. You don't want to stress the plant out. If it's really sunny, really hot, you want to use shade cloth to try to cool the plant down. If it, for example, has, I think the sprayer's coming back. It is, look. And it smells like pesticide still, or herbicide. You can smell it. It smells fruity. That's how you know. That's how you know it's a fruity smell. If you smell fruit in the air, you know, like that, it's like a chemically fruit. It's guaranteed someone's spraying nearby. But no fertilizer, don't prune, don't use any miracle products, nothing like that. The plant will take care of it naturally on its own. If it didn't kill it off, it will recover. So, do you agree? You have to let me know in the comments down below if this has ever happened to you before. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.